Oh yeah, I want to drop them. Hello. Yes, I'm late today because of the cat cafe this morning. I was at the cat cafe until we got there kind of late, and then my friend and I went out to Olive Garden, which I haven't seen her in a while, so it was kind of nice. We got to play with a bunch of kitties, though. But how are you doing, angry one? Lily, get out of there. They were fun. They didn't have as many kittens as they did last time we went, but I got to play. Two of them were actually getting adopted that day, like today when we were there. But we got to play with a bunch of them. There's like 7 or 8 kittens, and they climbed all over me, and it was awesome. And then we played with the older cats too. There's a bunch of them as well. There's 2 like Maine Coon mixes. They were brothers, and they were really really fun to play with. My cat's jealous that I just got home and I'm ignoring her. Here you go. But it was fun. There's a the lady that owns the cafe, or she adopts out like a bunch of cats there. Like you can go in and meet the cats and adopt them and everything. But she rescues them from like kill shelters, so she helps foster and save cats. It's kind of awesome. Sit down. No, Yumiko. You're being a jerk face. Yeah, I am pretty. And 2 dogs, because my friend that took me, she was dog sitting as well, so I stopped and said hi to 2 of the dogs that she was sitting for, because we had to let them out. So I smell like cats and dogs. And rain, because I got poured on coming in the house. Yeah, she smells something on me. She's like, what does that smell, Mommy? How are you doing today, sir? Yeah, I'm a lot later today than I normally am with stream, but I'm like, I didn't want to rush my time with my friend. It was a lot of fun. Yes, I just come home smelling of other cats, and she's not pleased. I also had to get up at 6 this morning to get ready for it, so I'm like exhausted. So I decided to straighten my hair today. Like, well, you can't tell too much now because the rain got to it, but I'm like, I'm gonna be weird and straighten my hair, and then it decides to rain. Very chill. Did you go cycling in this nutso heat today? You need to stop bumping me, cat. I love you, but you gotta stop. My arch enemy. The good one or the one I'm teaming up with? You didn't have to turn off a stream. I think you can watch 2 streams at once. I don't want to stop you from watching your fun peoples. That's what I was gonna do. Is gonna grab the spawners I completed. Can you sit down, please? Thank you. You see, I have a cat in my lap being a butt. Still way too hot out today, by the way. So we are painting the whelplings, which are the little dragons that go with the spawner. I actually finished my other spawners and I don't have them next to me because I put them on my thing. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Man, I mean, if I seem like a super villain with these rivals, it's awesome. I'm sure she's actually a nice person, but she's my enemy, so. No, 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 no. I was wondering why I said bo 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 bo. So I also forgot to prime this until I got home, and I was like, oh no, I gotta prime the guy to paint. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow. Sleep a lot longer. I couldn't fall asleep last night. I just. And then today I'm like, I got up early to straighten my hair and get ready to go. And then I ended up getting there way too early. But oh well. I got to play with her 2 cats too, so I saw probably a total of 30 cats today. And 2 pups. The kittens weren't as the last batch of kittens were a lot more playful than today's, but they were still fun. They were like jump. I got a video. I'll post it after at my stream. I got video of the one playing. Though I had 2 friends, I sent them the picture of the kittens, and they're like, "Did you get cats?" And I'm like, "No, I'm at the cat cafe." We took precautions. We did the masks, and they're very limited on who can go in there. That's why you have to do reservations. So I was safe. But good. It's way too hot to be outside right now. I was inside. Like, we had to walk to the place because we couldn't find parking, and I was like dying in that small walk. I was like, why is it so hot out? Yes, the kitties were safe. They were sweethearts too. Yeah, the ladies adopted out like a ton of cats, which is really cool because she helps them, takes them from like kill shelters and stuff, and helps them find fosters. So I guess when COVID first hit, she had to find fosters for. She had 48 hours to find fosters for every cat in the cafe, which was there's a lot in there, so it was not fun. But they're back open again. They're doing limited hours and everything, but they still have a lot of adoptions come through for the cats, so that's pretty awesome. So I'm starting with the purple for the crystal because I'm going to highlight up to a lighter purple, as you can see in the picture, down in the corner. But I want to start with the darker color because it's easier to get the faucets in. For me, anyways. Yes, the kitties were safe. And I am working on multiple models because I don't want to keep touching the one when it's wet. Because I made that mistake last time and I kept messing up areas. Yes, I start with the very dark red. And then I actually did like a red wash to get into the cracks more. And then I went through, did smaller chunks of lighter red, then orange, and then finally just little dots of yellow in places. I do the same thing for fire as well. I start usually darker and go lighter for the fire effects. I totally missed the whole crystal there. I'm sorry. Ooh. The couldn't remember the right angle for the camera today, so I don't know if it's... I'll have to mess with it more and find like a good angle that I could stay at. Hey Nick, how are you? Yeah, but now that I have it over here, it's kind of hard for me to like maneuver my desk, so I blame you for that one. It makes it harder for me to get stuff set up, so I don't know like how to get the cameras all nice. I'm painting over um, the skulls right here because you'll see a little bit through there. I don't know what it says. This is silkier. And it was fun but tiring. It's way too hot outside. I got to see a bunch of kitties and some puppies today. I haven't seen Samantha in a while, so it was kind of nice to hang out with her. We also went to Olive Garden afterwards as a treat, so I got my sangria there, which is really yummy. Getting all the purple color before I start going on it. We couldn't find parking because a lot of the roads were closed off in Chicago, so we had to like circle around to find a place. I had not hopped up on sangria. I had to drive home, so I didn't drink that much. I had 2 glasses for lunch. It was fun though. We don't get to hang out that much, so it was nice going out there. There's the crystal, so I'm starting with the purple on the crystals. But speaking of sangria, I'm going to take some water. Because I was laughing a lot today, so my throat is a little dry. Thank you, Alex. Hello. Yes, I know my stream is a lot later today, but I still wanted to come on and stream, so. We're gonna let the purple dry and we'll mess with the dragons while the purple is drying on the spawner. And try not to mess up wet paint. I should probably have done the washing here, but it's okay. Happy hump day, people. You made it through the week halfway. Woo. I was telling my friend it didn't feel like Wednesday today. It felt like a Friday. Yeah, so it downpoured on my way home and I couldn't see for part of it, so I actually put my flashers on. But yeah, I'm really, really glad we got some rain. Hopefully it'll help, not kill us. Yeah, it's been way too warm. I don't like this heat. I like my spring, fall weather. Bring it back. That you mean more than the normal 8-hour shift? Oh, jeez. Like, completely quit? What was he doing today? That dude needs, like, he has serious problems. So Alex works at the place I used to work, and the guy's a complete asshole, as you could tell. But, excuse my language. So I've actually painted these little dragons before. I have, the game comes with 2 sets of each. So 2 of the little cuddle babies, 2 of the, this guy, and 2 of the whelps. So I have 1 of each painted, and then I have their boss painted, Starfire, which I did on stream. So actually, I'm sorry, that one's a wormling. So there's the hatch. Oh, there's the hatchlings. The wormling. And then the whelp. Yeah, they're pretty cute, but oh, I got my eye. Oh. There's only 2 of each that came in there. I've had this racing outfit probably for like 12 years. 13. I wore it once before on stream. But I wanted something really cool because I was like dying outside. And I'm like, you know what? This is cool. I'll wear this today. But I've had this for a while. It's actually a really old outfit. I was surprised it still fit. I think my music stopped, so I have to go fix that in a minute. Yeah, so I'm doing these whelps so I can finish off the dragons for the game I have. Let me check my phone and get the music going back on again. Yeah, it's pretty. It's a cooler outfit than most of mine. You mean the guys in the back? Yeah, I got in a huge conversation with Tracy about that yesterday. Actually, telling her I was kind of, I don't want to say annoyed, but like bothered that like some of the people I thought like cared didn't check on me, or like ask where I was or anything. They are late to the party though. Though unfortunately, I'm still dealing with the company. So, did anyone I know leave or walk out today? Paint on the dragon's booty. Oh, Tracy's nephew left today? Man, what was he doing? He must have been being like a complete jerk. Because Kyle's usually pretty, what's the word? Kyle's usually pretty, deals with a lot. Oh, Tracy found my review after on the company. Oops. So they're not coming back then, none of them are? Can I get this dragon's butt? I can't see him down there. They have like little crab claw mouths. They're cute. Maybe little toes too. So these guys are a little more a bit of a pain in the butt to paint because they're cuddling and you can't see all the parts of them. So there's these little red guys. Let them dry. Oh, cat, get off my lap. It's cooler now. Love my cat, but right now I'm like, it's too hot. Don't sit on my lap. So we're going to do a wash on the crystal. I guess on my wash brush. Where's my wash brush? There he is. Purple wash. I don't know where to put my wash. Okay. So we're going to do a wash, even though it's already pretty dark, I'm going to still do a purple wash on the crystal to get into some of the crevices that might not have and smooth over the paint I did. Because even though you can't really tell the wash is there, it still smooths the color to make it a more even coat. Any spots I might have missed, it could grab. So we're going to let the purple wash dry. That's why I brought out multiple models today, because I'm like, I want to be able to do them all. Now I just sit there and wait for stuff to dry. So we're going to wash really quick the dragon's bases and then continue coloring them while that's drying. Oops, I need the wash brush. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm switching the wrong brush. So let's do this so I don't spill it, hopefully. So I just do a sloppy wash over this to get into all the crevices. And then we'll eventually do a dry brush on the base. The base I don't do a ton of detail on for these guys just because they're small, like some of the smaller monsters. But some of the bigger guys I do more of a detailed base. Like Starfire's, I did lava on her base because she was the mini-boss, or the boss of the game. But these guys are just little whelplings and you can kill them many times and they'll come back. Grab this tail. I should have washed him before I did the red. It's okay. Close that so I don't spill it, because that would not be good. I've done that before and gotten black wash everywhere. Smoothing out the red here because it was like clumped up weird. Now we'll work on painting some other red guys while we're waiting for the purple to dry on there. Anyone have fun plans for the rest of the week? Nothing? No plans? None of you? It's still crazy that a lot of people walked out today. But I'm not super surprised. So a lot of the new minis for this game come pre-built, but these did not, so I had to build them. So this guy was 3 pieces. This was 2, and this guy was 2 as well. This was like 4, the spawner. Which I don't mind building them, so some of the new ones come pre-built and they're already on the bases. Which isn't bad, just sometimes I like painting the bases separately. These guys I'm not, because they don't stand up on their own very well. It's so quiet, say something. Or like we start singing. Probably not something you want me to sing either. Like My Little Pony or something. So the goal is hopefully by the end of the year have most of the board game pieces all painted up. There's also a bunch of kobolds that come with it too, and then all the different characters. I have one expansion for it. It's has like little ghost models, and then some troll ones too. So, but it'd be fun to have them all painted up and then get to play the dungeon crawl with a fully painted game. So that's my goal. Getting in the top of his mouth like a dentist. Kind of hoping the storm would last a little longer too. It seemed to downpoured on my way home and then kind of just stopped. The only good thing about the heat is that my stuff is drying a little faster, so that's good. But these are, so the spawners I did finish, destroy them back. The spawners I did finish were for the kobold. This is the dragon spawner. It only gets 1. Which there's a whole bunch of, there's a whole bunch of kobolds that still need to build. And there's Rex. They're like these giant ogre type monsters that also come with. They're mini bosses though. But more than one can spawn at a time, so if you don't kill the first one fast enough, you get too many bosses you have to deal with. A little more red, and then we'll check the thing, see if it's dry. Oh. Pull his little hand while I do his tail. Alright. Let them dry and then we'll finish those guys up with their base. And then give them a wash as well. But let's go to the spawn. Music, why are you stopping again? So we got this medium purple here, but we're actually gonna mix a little bit of the dark and medium purple to start the highlighting. So we don't want it super bright starting out. We want more of a gradual. So put that there. And this is my new purple paint because I picked it up because I didn't have the medium paint last time. So I went and got myself a medium purple paint. Yumiko, what are you eating? No. My cat is getting just shit she shouldn't be. And I'm gonna get drinking because my mouth is. This might be a shorter stream today too, just because I'm my throat's starting to get sore. So one of my favorite brushes to use is this. Oops. It's a medium layer brush from GW. Also the small ones too, but we're gonna use this for now. So I've watered down the paint quite a bit, so we don't want it chunky when I'm doing this. And we're gonna highlight up the faucets. Now some of the faucets are hard to tell where they are. So I'm just kind of winging it the best I can. Whoops! And throwing this thing on the floor. So like there's a faucet here. That's it, sorry. I could possibly go in and do a darker one too, but as you can see it's a pretty light colored crystal. Mine's not going to look exactly like that, but it's going to be kind of close. Hello Anthony, how are you? I apologize, my stream is extremely late today, but I was at a cat cafe, so it was fun. All the kitty cats. Some of them were like big enough to hold in your hand. They were so tiny. I loved them. Yep, lots of kitties. So I posted pictures from the kids, and someone thought I adopted 4 kittens today. So that was pretty funny. 2 different people thought I adopted 4 kittens. And I got messages from them at the exact same time. I was like, nope. Just kitties from the cafe. It was a lot of fun, though. Aw. Yeah, they get big fast. Last time I went there, they had a newborn that they were still the lady that owns the place, which I'm now Facebook friends with, so yay. She was taking bottle feeding this like little panther cat, and it was so cute. And I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, they can get chunky fast. There's two Maine Coon brothers there they're a lot of fun to play with. I got a video of the one. He was like literally like parkouring off of stuff to play. It was awesome. He's a sweetheart. They both were. They were very fluffy too. I got pictures of the one's foot. See like all this fur on his foot, and I was like, oh my gosh, you crazy cat. Yeah, I used to have a Maine Coon. I like them. They're cute. Yeah, there's like two little black ones, a little gray one, a black and white one, a tabby one who decided to poop in there and it smelled horrible. But other cats from there. Two black and white ones, two gray. Oh, and then like a little tabby, the brown tabby one. She was really cute. She was very shy. The one I kept wanting to play with would not sit still long enough to get a picture. I was like, come on. You're adorable, but... So we're starting to head up on the crystals. These are going to get pretty light. So it's a little harder to do the faucets on yeah, the surface of the crystal because things are in the way, so you don't know exactly where the light's shining on them. So it's kind of a little bit of a guessing game going on. Usually I pick just a pinpoint of area, or I pick a spot where I want the light to go in, and that's where I start highlighting from. But we will make this work. I do love paint crystals, so it's one of my favorite things to paint. Crystals and fire. I got my lighter purple I can add in now. I'm slowly adding in more and more lighter purple, so now I'm going to start adding some of this guy in. And then I also have a super light purple, which I don't know where it is at the moment. Probably in my thing over there. Open! Thank you. One of the problems with GW paints is they tend to gunk up right on the lid. Oops. So they gunk up like right here. As you can see, it's a little, I can pull it out. So, and then it prevents it from closing all the way, which is not cool. So mixing a little bit of this in. So I start, oops, trying to figure out the camera. Start highlighting up this point right here. And my music stopped again. Lily! Yeah, that's, I don't know how they're expecting everyone to just pack up and move. I decided companies are all going crazy. You can see a little bit of the highlighting on the crystal already. Thank you, Alex. I will hydrate and then go back to painting crystal. Almost threw a bottle of water again. You have to let me know how that pans out, Anthony. Whoops. I feel like everyone's gone crazy with this stuff going on. Like my dad found out he's not going, yeah, that's definitely be interesting. My dad doesn't go back to work till after Labor Day now, with everything going on. Which, he doesn't mind, but my mom's like going nuts with him home. Sometimes you gotta wonder who in the company's like, oh, this is a good idea, let's do it. Oh, when I was a bad girl, I didn't tell Samantha I got home, okay. Oops. So I'm trying to highlight up the crystals where the highest point would be. I want to see if I can find my bright purple really quick. I do not know where my bright purple is, so we're just going to add white to it. I usually don't like adding just white to my paints. Oh, never mind. I found my purple. I lied. Alright, head out. So I use a combination of GW paints, which are these, and Reaper paints, which are these. So I kind of mix all my paints as I'm doing them, which I don't know if it's necessarily the best thing. But this also has a cooler color into it. The other purple is more of like a reddish purple. This is more of a blue purple, so it's a little cooler. But it'll help tone down the crystal a little bit too. In the picture, it's more of a it's more of a warm crystal, but it has like its cool spots in it, if that makes sense. Oh, there's no rule against not doing it. I just said it's not a lot of people would stick with one type of paint. I'm just like, eh. I tend to get, like, if I can't find a color in one paint, I'll go to a different brand. Because while mixing colors is fun, if you're doing a batch army, you don't want to keep mixing colors because it's hard to match the color exactly. So it's better just to have a paint for it. And I'm highlighting on the edges, but I highlight less and less each time I go up. So like, see if you can see it. So like this part's highlighted, but not as high up as this part. But you can still see like the definition in the crystal. I think I owe my kitties colors or my kitties cuddles and treats after this. I ignored them all day. They're not happy with me. I'm kind of making up a faucet there. Or facet, whatever you call it. To give it some extra definition. So you kind of see the crystal forming now. Looks very blue in the picture. I don't know why. For my It's been a lot of experimenting on it. I love crystals. Like, I used to collect, like, rocks and crystals when I was a kid. So I love messing with them and doing them. I actually hand-built crystals for some terrain before, too. Maybe I'll bring them out sometime. So I'm trying to get in behind this skull head here to... Oh, I'm getting tired. The music's not playing. I'm not sure what that's from. Hi, phone. I've never seen that. Actually mixing some of the darker paints back in because I missed an area down here where I want the crystal to stand out a little more. Now we're going to do the very, very lightest purple. I'm actually going to add a little tiny bit of white to it. So mine's not looking exactly like the card, but I'm making my own kind of just a similar coloring. Some white in there. Some water. save my thing real quick. Cool. I dropped the brush and got it paint where I didn't want to, but I can easily cover that off. So it looks like it's this color mostly. Starting a little bit blending to cover on a steak. So there's the crystal. I'll have to put a gloss on it when I'm done, but that's basically it. She might do a little more with this guy up in this corner. Just a little blending with the dark purple if I can find it. Okay, stop messing with the crystal because it looks good. I don't want to keep messing with it too much. So in the thing, let me see if the eggs have no design on them. But it shows them like a weird crystal-y color. We'll paint the stone actually first on there. Well, I'm trying to debate how I'm going to do the eggs because they have like the stripes on them, but the actual model doesn't have stripes on the eggs. All the eggs. There's a skull hiding down here too. So I want the eggs to stand out from the skull. So whatever color I do, the skulls will be like the bone color, so I have to do something different for the eggs to make them stand out. I think maybe I have an idea. So this is a bone color, but it's much lighter than I usually start with. I usually start with the Sandary Dust color, which I will use for the top and the skull. But for the eggs, I will use this color. We're gonna do them all. We're gonna do it all at once though, and then do a wash over it all. Because I use the same color wash for both those colors. It's a light, a very like fleshy brown. So we're gonna start with the skull because he's hiding in there, being all sneaky. I really like how the crystal looks though. It makes me excited. Anyone do anything fun while watching? I know Alex was playing Star Wars, it seemed. Oh, that's cool. First story? Blake, Alex. Surprised you didn't walk out with them. Oh, that's cool. I think both my role plays fell on the same weekend this week. So I'm pretty sure I have D&D Saturday, and I think we have Serenity Sunday, right? Angry One? It's fun calling you Angry One. I don't think I've ever seen you angry. I've seen you pretend to be angry. I will, if it only goes till 4:30, I will probably be in person. I'm still a little concerned, but I'm like, you know what? I think it'll be okay. Will you be there in person, or are you doing Zooming? Yeah, mine's a scary force too when it comes out, but most people don't survive it to tell people about it, so. as a real people and everything. So before we went to the cat cafe, I stopped at my friend Sam's house because she was driving us, and her neighbor, it was all her old art teacher, and we got in a conversation with her, and she's just an older woman. She's hilarious. We were making all sorts of jokes, but she's like, so I had my catters on. She's like, I was meaning to ask you. She's like, are those growing out of your head, or are they just a headband? Because she couldn't see with the sun. I thought it was hilarious. She thought I might have actually had real catters. I was cracking up. I thought it was awesome. But she actually made us a little late because she was talking. Yeah, I will tell them I have to leave at 4:30. So I can get home and get ready for spring. I'll have to have my costume and everything. I already have my contacts in at least, so that will help. That sometimes takes a while. So we got part of this done. Oops, I'm missing part of his back teeth. I feel like a dentist doing this. And then he has little, like, skull things grabbing onto the egg clutches. So that's going to be a little harder to paint because I don't want to mess up the crystal already painted. Hi, cat. Yumiko says hi, everyone. Sit down. Sit down. Thank you. No, sit. If you're going to sit. Don't sass me. You guys hear this? She's sassing me. Hear her being sassy? So they look almost like little face huggers. I think they're supposed to be like spinal columns, but they look like face huggers. Oh, I totally just got paint on me. Yes, welcome to the chat room. Why is it telling me to welcome myself to the chat room? I'm confused. Must have dropped or something. Yeah, I'm not sure still what's going on with my internet because it's been really bad lately. Yay, thank you for the hydrate. I almost on this water bottle too. Just for you, Alex, because you haven't been selling off. I will open the second one just for you. So thank you. So we're trying to paint these little spinal cords on here. So I think they are. See, they're like wrapping into the crystal. So we're gonna try to get them without messing up the crystal underneath. It would have been almost impossible to do the crystal after painting these guys, so I tend to do like the bottommost layer of stuff first. I usually do all the base coats first, but I got excited about the crystal, so I kind of jumped ahead and finished that. It does feel kind of like a Friday, though. Does anyone else agree? Or am I just going crazy? If you guys get a chance, though, do go check out that Windy City Kitty Cafe. It's in Chicago on North Street. It's really cool. And the lady who runs it is a super sweetheart. They always have new cats coming in and out there, though. It's Even though we got there late, she let us, because we kind of know the owner, she let us stay over for a full hour. You usually get an hour with the time you purchase. And then you can also purchase or an extra half hour in the kitten room, which is just where the kittens just crawl over you. The youngest ones. Which we always do because it's a lot of fun. I mean, who wouldn't want kittens crawling all over them? It's pretty awesome. Though it was funny at one point because they had an older cat in the kitten room because the cat was still getting used to because when they bring new cats and they get them used to the cats before they just kind of throw them into the big room with all the other ones. And you may come sit down. And this one was, he didn't like being around the other cats in the other room, so he's with the kittens and like his own little cage and stuff. But we let him out, and he was sleeping in my lap most times. So I'm like, oh, I came in the kitten room, but I've been playing with the big cat in here. He got very jealous too a lot of times. Kitten got too close playing with him. He's like, nope, get away from this person. I'm using her. It was so hot yesterday, my ice cream melted as I walked from my kitchen to my bedroom. In my house. I was so sad. So we got one side done, his little alien friend. This one has a lot more pieces to it. I love these though too, because even though they're small, they're really detailed with you smell kitty yummy? Is that where you're being all pissy? They're real detailed with the stuff you can do with them. You don't have to make them detailed, but you can, which is kind of cool. Oops, I don't want to paint anything. So I'm highlighting all these skeletal things on him. They're popped out of this model, so I'm not just making these up. I'm not that crazy good. Oops, skip this. Trying to get a tip on my brush so it's easier to get into the area without getting it all over where I don't want it. My cat is purring up a storm right now. She is happy mommy is home, even though mommy smells like other kitties. I apologize if my internet is messing things up again. If anyone is good at figuring that stuff out, let me know. Why am I'm assuming it's my internet's making everything drop like crazy. Almost done with these bones on him. And then I'm going to color the eggs and do the wash on it. Thank you for the hydrate. You quiet peoples. Excuses. So the bone on him is done. Or not done, but the base is done. Ugh, you and your spicy crap. I can't do spicy. It was awesome because I was talking to Samantha today. And so her boyfriend is allergic to cats, so he can't go to the cat cafe, so we just go together. But, we were talking about how we both have similar tastes, but, like, we can't do spice and stuff. Sit down. Now. Thank you. So we're going to do this lighter. So usually when I do, I don't think I have my Shapki bone over. I do. Nope, that's gray. So usually when I do my bone, I start with Zanduri Dust, and then do what's called a Shapti bone, and then go up to Screaming Skull. But we're going to start with Screaming Skull and the eggs. And we might actually, maybe I won't wash them with I might wash them with the yellow instead. We're going to experiment, so let's do this. Wish me luck, guys. I'm going to flip my palette around because I got too much purple there. It's fun to experiment, right? We're going to mess... If I give it like a slightly orange tint, it might stand out from the bone. So color the eggs. Eggy colors. You can see it's a lot lighter than the other bone color. But I'm actually going to use my other brush so I can get in the detailed things. I got 4 of my spawners done yesterday. Oh, not yesterday, the day before or something. So we're covering the eggs in this creamy color. We are going to do a couple of layers because it's a thinner paint. I don't want to just chunk it on there. Miko, stop now. So I'm trying to go up to the crystal without actually hitting the crystal. I'm going to hit a little bit of it, unfortunately. But if I do the wash, actually. Let me see if I can get in there and fix that up real quick. Okay, kind of saved it. I can always add a little bit of purple wash in there if need be. That little area. So I got this egg very, very purple, so it's going to take a couple layers to get it to the right color. Go sit down. Stop moving. In the bag, kitty. So I'm trying to get in the egg shell too without actually hitting the skull. I already painted the other bone color. So there's some of the eggs. We got eggs on their side. And I'm holding at the bottom and the top so I don't mess up the dry or the wet paint I have now. If I wasn't trying to follow the cards for the game, I would have made, you can make like things whatever color you want. But because I'm trying to make them similar to the actual cards on the game, I'm sticking with very similar colors to what they had. So if you're painting something, never be afraid to like try out different colors and experiment with it. I did that with my Tyranids and their own hive fleet, and they just look really cool. I like them. Now, the more you get done, the more I'm not going to be able to just paint sloppy-ish in areas. Because I don't want to mess up what I already have done. So I'm trying to get into here. Just water that down a little too much. I'm also, one of my next steps, I don't know if I told anyone yet, is I'm going to get a stand so I can try to get the camera going over my shoulder. I don't have it yet, but that's my next step. Now I won't worry about this in my way. I'm trying to paint. One thing at a time, though. I think it'd be easier for me to paint than to try to, like, angle this camera every time. How those whelps? Yeah. So there are the eggs now. And, well, that's drying before I do the wash on it, because I don't want to do the wash when it's still wet. Otherwise, it will pull the paint, and actually, I don't like how that looks on. And a little more paint down there. There. So we'll hopefully finish the red on these guys while that's drying. Put you right there so you can see it. Oh my gosh. Okay, you move. You go there. There you go. Nico, you have to sit down. So do some more red while I'm letting that dry. Sometimes you want to blend the paint once wet, but in this case, I don't want to blend the wash with the paint, because if you do, it just makes a big puddle mess. You don't get the effect that washes are meant to do. So things are drying pretty fast, though, so it shouldn't take very long for it to dry. In the meantime, I get to finish the red on these dragons, and I can wash them. I do love the phase wash models, because it sounds like you're giving them like a bath. Which I actually have had to give baths to some of my models, so don't laugh. When you get the, if you do Warhammer, you get the Forge World models. They are made in Finecast, and they actually have the mold release agent still on them, so you actually are told to soak them in soapy water to clean them first before you try to prime them, otherwise the primer might not stick. So I've had my Tyranids taking a bubble bath before. I am being careful with these whelps, though. Their mom would be very mad at me if something happened to them. Oops, stand up, whelp. Finish this guy up, and then we will find my orange paint, or wash this. Let me tell you seriously to stop. You're being a bad girl. Almost done with that. One more red on him, and then he will be done. Okay, so the dragon whelpies are done. Their base. So let's try to find this orangey yellow wash and try these eggs out. There it is. It's right down there. So the wash I use for yellows a lot of times, but it looks more orangey. Yeah. Sorry, my throat is hurting me like crazy. So we're going to wash the eggs with this. Oops. It was starting to play and I messed it up. So you always, for washes, you always shake them before you use them pretty well. Like, because if you don't, it leaves like a weird glossy coating on it, and you don't want that. It will not be even. It will look just bad. Try to water this down a little bit so you don't get that dark. So you will have to highlight back up because this is turning out a little more orangey than I was expecting. But it's okay. We can just lighten it back up so that will be in the shadows. Remember, things tend to dry darker than you expect to. So there's the eggs. But also, if we dry brush with this and a little bit of this, we can easily brighten it back up. So I'm not worried too much. Washes will darken stuff, even the light washes. The blue wash I don't like as much because it's super dark and it just doesn't look as nice. And now I need to find my Seraphim Sepia wash. Is this you, baby? Yes. Okay. So this is what I use to wash the bones. It's a Citadel wash. Now, because none of the bones are, except for the skull, are touching where the yellow wash is, I can just go ahead and wash this now. You can see it gives it some extra depth. It looks really dark right now, and it will not be that dark when I'm done, don't worry. Probably should have started up a little slightly lighter, but it's okay. So we're going to do the skull, which is, we will have to be a little careful with this because it is touching some of the yellow. But not enough to warrant being too concerned. Okay, and then I have to hold at the bottom now because I need to wash this top skull, and I don't want to hold where I wash, otherwise it'll be a mess. It's a lot darker than I wanted, so we're going to try to lighten it up a little bit. So the other brown wash there is actually a lot darker, so I always use this one for like bone and skin tone. Excuse the word angled, I don't want to get my hand on them. Okay, so there is, oops, too much there. You can always, if you put too much on, take the, like a dryer brush and like pull the paint off if you're worried. But so there's the wash skull so far. And where is my red wash? There he is. Washes are cool. They help just add depth and stuff to it. There's not a ton of different colors, but you can actually make a wash out of any paint if you want. You just have to water it down a lot. Oops, you were dry more, I think. Jesus. Hope I'm not getting sick. What are some good remedies for sore throats, guys? Like this wash, this red wash doesn't do a ton to it, but it kind of gets in the crevices. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that one, but I can do salt water. I think I have salt. Pretty sure I have salt. I've used it for baking before. Yeah, and like for these, because I'm just doing a base, like a light wash on them, I'm trying to let stuff pool into too many areas. Because like you see I was like pooling really bad there. I don't want that happening. Sometimes you do want that to happen, but for this, I do not. So that guy's drying now. Maybe this guy. See, it's pooling really bad again up there. I don't want that to pool. So I'm just trying to use it to get a little bit of extra shading in there before I highlight up. So I'm going to try to get it out of there. I'm trying. I'm not good at teaching. I'm trying as I go though to try to explain how I kind of learned. I didn't learn by a lot of watching. Um, like wash is supposed to pool in areas, but like I'm just doing like a light wash because I I don't want like a lot of deep shadows coming out of highlight up. If I was just doing like a dry brush, then yeah, it's fine on top of it. But I'm just trying to give that extra little darkness to in the crevices, so then when I highlight up, you can still tell there's some shadows in there. I don't know if you could kind of tell the difference of them. Well, the one looks wet right now, but yeah, washes, I use them for like everything. Except for I'm really bad at them because I always splash myself with them, so I end up with like speckles of different colors on my face, and so I'm going to and pool some of these areas really quick, so I don't want them that dark. Okay, there we go. No, washes are not used. They're one of the first steps, honestly. Like, let's say you have, let me think. I don't have a blank bottle here. Let's say I wanted to paint this lady. Oops. Hi, Pikachu. So I have this dried here. Let's say I wanted to paint her green. And then use a wash and then do, like, other highlights. So I would pick my base green, whatever I want to be, like, kind of the shadows and stuff for it. And then, wait for it to dry, of course, and then do the wash over that, and then highlight up from there. The only time you really do a wash later on is if you're trying to blend colors together. But washes always darken stuff, so you usually use them as like a second or third step. If that makes sense. I killed Pikachu. I'm going to say Pikachu real quick, sorry. I knocked him off my desks. Sorry, Pikachu. So I got a little bit of speckles on these eggs, some red speckles on the eggs when I'm doing it, because I'm going to highlight over it. It's not going to matter too much. I am going to, however, touch up the stone really quick. Yeah, I would definitely do, and then I can show you how to dry brush too. Explain that. I can do, in fact, next time I stream, I can have a model ready and just show a quick dry brush on it so you can kind of see what that is, if you want. And I'm going to touch up this gray because I want the stone to be there. Yeah, dry brushing is fine. Oh yeah, that's right, I did. From Indianapolis or Indiana? And were you there when it happened, Alex? Because that's kind of scary. Oh. Is everyone there okay, though? Is that the one right near your house? Were they mad they didn't get pizza or something? Like, what the heck? You said they're shopping. Are they okay, or are they... No, they don't know yet. Yeah, people are going psycho. I don't know what's going on with this world right now. That's scary, though, that close. It's like when the speedway by where I used to work got robbed, and then the one literally right down my street got robbed. And I'm like, oh, that's like walking distance from my house. That's pretty terrifying. Okay, now we're gonna wash the rocks on him because I feel like it. And then all the washes will be done this one. It's scary. Hopefully, good. You're okay, Alex, though. Not always. Sometimes it's released right away. The one by me was that there was an armed robbery, but no one got shot. They were threatened, and I think there was some firing, but no one actually got hurt, thankfully. So honestly, what do you guys think of the crystal, though? Isn't that kind of cool? And then when I add a glaze over, it'll be like super shiny. Let dry. Actually, while that's going on, I will do some yellow on the dragon eyes while I'm waiting. Oh, this is a gross yellow. I forgot this one's yucky. So a lot of the base colors, okay, a lot of the base colors are good, but the base yellow looks kind of poopy. But when you're doing it over any dark color, it's a lifesaver. Also, a technique, if you so I had to prime some models black to, because that's all the primer I had. And I need to get like a bright yellow on them. So I could use this and paint multiple layers of yellow, but it would take like 5 or 6 layers. You could also do a pale, after you prime the model, where is it? Do like a white or a pale gray, one layer of it in the section you want to paint yellow, and then this will make it so much easier to highlight up. Someone told me that the other day. And I was like, ah, I wish I knew that a little sooner. So my yellow is pooping out a little bit, that's okay. I actually prefer white primer for almost everything, but because of, I could show you one of the not horses that isn't done yet. I had to do a bunch of these guys, and they're mostly black and dark colors. So I have to highlight a bunch of them in yellows in areas, but it's taking me a long time to get all the layers in there. Black primer can be good though. I like white because I can see the details a little better. For me, black, it's a lot harder to see the details because it doesn't just blend into the primer. Where the white, like it shows stuff better. At least I think. And a lot of my color schemes tend to be brighter colors, so like honestly, I probably should have primed this one black, but the eggs were white. I like it's really a preference thing. There's also a gray primer which I really want to try because it makes basically it's like a in between. And there's a way to use it in the white primer to make like kind of see where the highlights are gonna hit, which is really cool. You basically prime it all gray, and then you put the model down after it's like all primed completely gray. And you see like where you want the light source to come from, and then you just do like a spritz of white where that light source is, and you can kind of see where all the highlights would be on the model then. So if like here's the dragon, and I spritz it here, this stuff would be highlighted, and you kind of see like where you can highlight up then. Another little technique I learned. So while that's drying though, we're just gonna color his eye in. It's cool because it kind of helps with seeing like where the sun would hit or where your light source would hit if you want a light source on your model. And like the parts that are going to be shadowed like under the armors and stuff, like it stays dark so you kind of know like, oh, I can leave this a darker color. Yeah, goofy stuff, but it's cool. You learn a lot watching other people. And sometimes you come up with your own things that's really cool as well. Like I did a beetle that was iridescent, and it took me a while, but I basically found an iridescent spray paint. I think it was Tamiya, which is like for the model cars and stuff. And I sprayed it on the beetle, but then I mixed around with purple and blue washes throughout it and then did highlights and stuff to get the full beetle iridescent look I wanted, and it turned out really cool. But like I didn't have any step-by-steps, I just kind of messed with it and got what I wanted. Sometimes it's a lot of just trial and error too. And remember, if you really don't like something, you can always strip the model and start again. Or if it's just a small section, you could just go over it. So I'm giving the dragon yellow eyes. Because all the other Whelplings had yellow eyes when I made them. Yeah, I love picking up new techniques from people. So if I see someone doing something I've never seen before, I'd be like, oh, how do you do that? Or how do you do this? Or I'll try to mimic it on my own. And of course, just practicing. Well, the washes for me did it, so it basically, it was an iridescent paint, but because I mixed different sections, I did some sections in like a blue wash, some in purple, it gave it that more gradual, like, iridescent look everywhere with like a shifting of colors, if that makes sense. Yeah, that beetle is one of my prized possessions. Probably one of my favorite models I've done. It was so much fun and so much experimenting. I'm still working on the base for it. But I wanted to, because the model turned out so cool, I want the base to be like really cool with it too. I think it was one of the first ones I showed you, actually. Yeah, the base is still a work in progress, but I actually, for the base, I hands made the base from scratch, and it has what's it called, corkboard, like coming up in layers, and I basically ripped parts of it to make it look like a cliffside and put like sand and stone in it, so it's all like one piece. And I actually went out and found twigs that were still kind of bendable, and I basically found the ones that were still kind of bendable and made them look like vines coming out of the side of the cliff, and then coated them in Elmer's glue so they wouldn't rot and so they'd stay stiff and I could paint them. Yeah, I went walking to get sticks, and people were laughing at me because I had a handful of sticks when I was done with my walk. But I had to find ones that were flexible enough and worked for what I needed. And I didn't want them too big. Hey, it's fun. I love some of the crazy shit you learn to do. I also tested the iridescent paint on an orc, so I had this purple, we call him the rave orc, in my house. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell Sam I got home okay. She thought I died on the road. Should probably tell her I'm like home okay and safe. Oops. Let's see. Watering this down a little bit so it doesn't look all chunky. We don't want chunky paint. That never looks good on models. We water down to help you blend the paint better. Water down too much though, it will run into the areas you don't want it to. Oops. Okay, let's see if I can clean my brush and try to save that little area. I got it in part of the eye I didn't want to. Okay, I saved most of it, so that's good. And the little area they didn't save, I can touch up with the red. So, with that though, we're just about at 2 hours. I'm surprised I made it that long. My throat was killing me. I felt fine earlier, so hopefully I didn't get sick or stuff. Time for glass tea. Yeah, I don't even know if I have tea. But thank you guys for joining me, and look forward to seeing the finished spawner. That'll be fun, and then I'll eventually have all the dragons done, and I'll get them all together with their spawner. And, yeah. Have a good one, guys. Bye. Sorry for the late stream.